do a talk about how to succeed at a PWI. If you don't know, I go to Appalachian State University, which isn't the most diverse university out there, and it's located in Boone, North Carolina, which is in the mountains, predominantly a white institution. We're growing slowly but surely, but to do that, it's important to share tips with those people of color to encourage them that it's okay to come to a PWI. So I just want to give y'all a background onto how I came to be at App State, and yeah. So I remember my senior year of high school, my mother and I were starting to look into what kind of schools I want to go to. She went to UNC Charlotte, so that was always an option or always a choice or place that I wanted to be, because I was like, okay, I like the Charlotte area, I'll just apply for UNC Charlotte. I also heard a lot of people were going to App State, so I applied to App. I applied to over 10 different schools to give myself a wide variety of where I wanted to go. I applied to HBCUs and PWIs. UNC Charlotte and App State are on the PWI side, and Winston State, Fayetteville State, Elizabeth City State, all of those are on the HBCU side. So I applied for a wide variety of schools because I wanted to expand my horizon and figure out did I want to go to HBCU or PWI. My high school that I went to for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade it's not a PWI, but it was predominantly white too. It was in Clemens, North Carolina, which it was just a lot of white people there. So I was kind of used to that environment. Growing up, I wanted to go to Mount Tabor High School, but I went to West Forsyth because it was closer to my house, and I adapted. I liked it, and then started applying for colleges. Helped me with the financial aid side, and then the college application process I would do with my mother. So I applied for those schools, the HBCUs and the PWIs. For UNC Charlotte, I got into UNC Charlotte and App State. I toured, I can't remember if I toured UNC Charlotte. I can't remember, but I know I definitely toured App State. Came to App State, loved it, just loved the environment. One of my favorite things about App State was, it's gonna sound crazy, but when I came, there was people doing not zip lining, but it's when you tie a rope to two sides of a tree and then you walk across. I can't think of what it's called, slack lining or slack. I just call it rope walking or something like that. But I thought it was so cool. I was like, I'm gonna try that, and when I did come for freshman orientation, I did try it, and I had a video. If I can find the video, I'll insert it, but I haven't seen that video in forever. But yes, so along down the road, I was like, okay, came for orientation. Even before orientation, I came for open house, and that's when I fell in love with App. And eventually, when it came to the fall, I decided to come to App and start my year. I started here in fall 17. Yeah, fall 17. And it's now fall 2020. I'm in my senior year at App State. And I just wanted to give a couple tips on how to succeed as a person of color at a PWI. And for those of you, I didn't mention at the beginning what a PWI is and what a POC is. But most people will know POC is a person of color. So you can be any type of pigmentation in your skin that's color, so that's melanin. So that could be black, that could be Hispanic. It's just a wide variety of what it could be. But yeah, I'm going to just give y'all my tips that I've been using to navigate here. And I just want to remind y'all that a lot of these things arise when deciding to attend a PWI, such as, will I fit in? Sorry y'all, someone had called me, but a lot of things arise when you start thinking about what kind of school you want to go to, especially the PWI. You start thinking will I be the only person of color in that classroom? Specifically for me, will I be the only black person? Will I have to answer all the black questions? Will there be other students who look like me? When I came to App for my open house, it was a little sprinkle of black people, Asians, Hispanics kind of around, but I didn't see too many. But I didn't really base that on the reason why I came here. I came here because I wanted to be a nurse at the time, and this is a really good nursing school, so that was my biggest thing. But I just want to give y'all a couple tips that I've been using to succeed here at App as a POC. So my first tip is find an MCC. The MCC is a multicultural center. We have one here at App, and I used to be a volunteer actually for it. So I would promote events that the MCC was hosting to get people to come out, and just fellowship and hang out together. The MCC, it's also for anybody. Like when I was there, it was pretty much POCs my freshman year, but over time, like I remember last semester, it would be wide varieties of races that were there. So I would say find an MCC because that's the main place you're gonna find different culturally based people, and you'll just be able to see a lot of people and experience their culture, emerge in their culture. The second one I have is find minority-based groups such as HSA, BSA, and ASA. So those are the three that we have here. We have more, but those are the main three I could think of. So HSA is Hispanic Student Association, and then ASA is Asian Student Association, and then BSA is Black Student Association. So BSA at our school meets Mondays at 5 p.m. and we just, during those meetings, we talk about current events. So things that we might be struggling with as Black students. We also just play like icebreakers to get to know each other. We have cookouts. We talk about social justice issues. There's just a wide variety of things we talk about. We really are not closed-minded to anything. We have an exec board that plans how our meetings are going to go. And then we have a general body, and the general body just interacts with the exec board to have conversations. The third tip I have for y'all is consider joining a Greek organization. So when I came here at App, I met a couple of people because I did Trailhead, which was like for first years to come, and then we moved in like 4 days in advance, and we got to know the area. So we went to a place called, we went to this place called Camp Broadstone, and it's just like a campground. It had bunk beds and cabins, and we just sleep in the cabins. We had a bonfire, we did kickball. It just gave you the opportunity to meet other first years because some people don't have siblings. Some people don't have that older sibling. They're like, oh, my sibling goes to App, or you might be a person and this is your first generation and you need to get to know people. It's a good way to step out your comfort zone. I wasn't big on hiking and outdoor activities, but since I came to App, I've been enjoying doing some more of those. And how the Greek organization ties into that is, so I came here not really knowing too many people. I wanted a sense of belonging, so I did start researching Greek organizations. I went to this place we have, this event we have is called Club Expo. I got to know different Greek organizations, figure out which one I was interested in, and then I did join a Greek organization. I will say, like I said, it's a sense of belonging. So if you join a sorority or you join a fraternity, there's even, if you don't want to be necessarily like in a social sorority, social fraternity, I would say that there's also business fraternities. There's also law fraternities, medical fraternities. They sound fraternity, but they're male and female. There's also, I think we have KK Psi here, but KK Psi I have noticed looks completely different than the HBCU KK Psi. But we do have band fraternities as well. So joining an organization, whether that's Greek or just any type of organization, is also important because you get to meet a wide variety of people. Let's see, the next one I have is see if your university has an intercultural student office. So this is like, if I had to make a organization chart, so the ISA office, which is the ISA office, the intercultural student office, that would be like the branch, like the umbrella. And then if you had like pieces come off of it, there would be like the MCC, it would be the Women's Center, and then there would be the LGBTQ community. They have office as well. And I would just find the intercultural student office because it just gives you opportunity to meet like the professionals who are here for you and work in student affairs. So if you're having a problem finding yourself, finding your identity, that office will direct you to different offices that can help you figure out like your sense of belonging at the school. Along with that one, I would also say get to know the POC faculty and staff at the university. A lot of them do work in the ISA office, but some athletics, there's a wide variety of POCs at universities. It's just important to get to know them and use them as a resource, because they're here as their job, but they're also here to support the students. So it's important to find those POC faculty and staff to use as that resource. My next one is just very vague, but remember that you're not alone. So even if you come here all by yourself, you're going to find somebody eventually, whether that's your roommate, whether that's just somebody you see like when you're going to the dining hall. There's always somebody here that's going to support you. So just remember that coming to a PWI, you might feel like you're in this huge bubble and you're just by yourself, but remember, you're not alone. My next one is network. I say network so many times because you never know. I literally live by this quote that says it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Because even at undergraduate level, you might not think, okay, you never know who you're gonna meet, and that person can take you so many places by just knowing them. So it's important to network, whether that's in like a business setting or it can be just a casual setting. It's important to network. And it's also important to use the correct language and professionalism when you are networking, because you never know how that person can help you later in life. I have 2 more tips that I have written down. The next one is get into clubs and organizations so it'll be easier for you to find your niche, or also your home at a university. So for me, my first year here at App, I joined BSA, I joined a Greek organization, trying to think what else I joined the Order of Black and Gold. I think those are the 3 main ones I was in. Yeah, so those are the 3 main ones I was in, and I'm still in all 3 of those, just some more than others. But those definitely gave me a sense of belonging. I also met some like lifelong friends. I met some sisters through my organizations. It's just a lot. And some of these universities, some PWI universities have these organizations also, but they're called other things. I know at Western, ours here is called the Black Student Association, but I think at Western theirs is called the Black Student Union. So that it differs, but we do the same things. We just have different names. And the last tip I have to students who are attending a PWI as a POC would be to create strong bonds with those around you. So once you find your group of friends, it's okay if your friend groups change, because they will, but try to start off with strong bonds and make them stronger over time. Like I said, your friend groups are going to change. I wouldn't be surprised if the person you meet the first day of classes is not the person you graduate with. That's not your best friend anymore. But it's important to build those relationships, start those connections, and build those memories, so that at least when you look back, you can say, okay, this was my friend, this is what I learned from them. So these are just the tips that I have that I've been using for the past 4 years. And continuing on, I'm just going to use them throughout my senior year. But I think I'm going to start a series where I talk a little bit about like tips and stuff that I learned at my 4 years. I don't know if I'm going to focus solely on being a POC at a PWI, or if I'm going to go and broaden that and make it more like my experience. I don't know yet, but I think I'm going to do this series because I kind of like it. I wanted to wait until I got a nice backdrop. This is the backdrop I got. I wanted to wait until I had a nice, cute backdrop to start making more videos, because I know that now that I have my own room and I'm back in Boone, I have more time for videos. I do have classes throughout the week, but a lot of them are hybrid or online. So when I'm not in classes and not doing schoolwork, I plan on making more videos for y'all to watch, because I want y'all to get to know me more, and I want to build my audience. So yeah, so just let me know below what type of things you'll be interested in seeing, and I can definitely try to make something shake, from that. But yeah, bye y'all.